Right. Well, court documents today did not reveal any sort of motive behind this attack. But perhaps one of the most surprising things we did learn is one of the surviving roommates may have seen the killer on his way out towards the back sliding glass door. Many had previously believed that some of the surviving roommates had slept through the attack.
Did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogen, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogen, from which she died.
Sitting next to his attorney, quadruple murder suspect Bryan Kohberger, listening carefully to the charges and penalties he faces. As each of the murder charges were read with the victims' names, crying could be heard from an emotional gallery where the victims' families were seated.
It's obviously an emotional time for the family, seeing the defendant for the first time. This is the beginning of the criminal justice system, and the family will be here for the long haul.
Perhaps the most chilling detail revealed in court records today. Around 4 a.m., surviving roommate Dylan Mortensen reportedly heard someone who she thought was Kaylee Gonzalez saying, "There's someone here," and a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Mortensen opened her door a third time after she heard someone crying in Zaina Kernodle's room, seeing a masked man dressed in all black walking past her as she stood in a frozen shock phase, then locked herself in her bedroom. While court documents do not reveal a motive, investigators say there is physical evidence, including cell phone data and surveillance video. The white Hyundai Elantra police have been looking for appears on camera, driving past the King Road residence multiple times in the 3 o'clock hour, then speeding off around 4:20 a.m. toward Pullman. It's spotted again on 5 cameras in Pullman and the WSU campus starting at 5:25 a.m. Court records also reveal DNA collected from Kohberger's family residence in Pennsylvania very closely matches DNA found on the knife sheath found next to Madison Mogen's body. And again, still a lot of questions tonight, including a motive, as well as whether the victims knew the suspect at all, and why the roommates waited so long to call 911, especially given the fact that one of the surviving roommates may have seen the killer on his way out. Kohberger, meanwhile, due back in court next week, January 12th at 10 a.m. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Mary, a lot of people may know John Henry Brown as the man who represented serial killer Ted Bundy or handled the Waumee Club massacre case. And then there is retired homicide detective Cloyd Steiger, who investigated hundreds of fatal crime scenes across his career. The horrific crime scene in Moscow, Idaho seemed more ominous when public perception grew that investigators had few leads on a suspect. The affidavit shows otherwise.
The first thing that jumped out at me is how quickly I identified him as a potential suspect.
Former SPD homicide detective Cloyd Steiger says video of the Hyundai Elantra helped pinpoint an owner. Then police got Bryan Kohberger's phone number and tracked its GPS history.
It didn't show him in the neighborhood at the time of the murder, but it showed him there a bunch of other times. So he thought if he could turn his cell phone off when he did it, he'd be fine, but he was wrong.
There's always the possibility that somebody's innocent.
Criminal defense attorney John Henry Brown says there's still many questions to sort out, and the derivative DNA police currently have from the suspect's father isn't foolproof.
The minute the public hears DNA, it's like magic. Well, it's not.
However, each piece of circumstantial evidence fills in more of the puzzle, though police still have gaps to complete.
They're going to look at, did he know these people? It appears that he was stalking them for a while.
And if all the evidence against Kohberger becomes overwhelming,
then you go to the next step, which would be a psychiatric defense of some kind.
Kohberger's next court date is set for January 12th, but given that this could be a death penalty case and there could be motions for a change of venue, experts say the start of the trial could be 2 or 3 years away. Back to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.